Alright everyone, before the video starts, just want to give a quick shout out to Howard. If you guys want to shout out like him, all you gotta do is go down to the description below, click on the link to Instagram, and follow me on Instagram. At the start of every single one of my videos, I will be giving a shout out to a new Instagram follower. So if that interests you, go ahead and do it, guys. So as you can tell by the title, guys, today's video is going to be a review, or kind of me talking about Batman Under the Red Hood. It's another one of those DC animated movies, guys. And if you didn't watch my last video about my review of The Death of Superman, this is going to be very, very similar to that. I'm basically just going to be, it's just going to be a super casual conversation. I'm just going to be kind of sitting back, and it's going to be not scripted or anything, obviously, and I'm just going to, you know, say what's on my mind and tell you guys like what I think really stuck out about the movie. So if that interests you guys, enjoy the ride. So I don't really, it's gonna be hard for me to like even decide where to start with this video, guys. Or with this like movie, I don't really know where to start. I mean, I guess we'll just start with the movie is about Jason Todd, who is the Red Hood, and it's all about Batman and Nightwing trying to figure out who this Red Hood is. This Red Hood has come to Gotham and is basically going around murdering different like criminals. Batman and Nightwing have to figure out who this guy is and how to stop him. It's gonna be a lot of like spoilers in this movie, or in this review, I guess, guys, because I kind of just want to talk about it. But so sorry about that if you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen it yet, like, just stop watching my video and go watch it right now, because it's my favorite DC animated movie, and it's my favorite because the character of the Red Hood is so interesting to me, and there's so much emotion behind his relationship with Batman and Nightwing and the Joker, and it's really entertaining to watch. So like I said, guys, there's going to be spoilers, but basically we find out that the Red Hood is Jason Todd. Jason Todd is the second Robin. The first one was Dick Grayson, and it's a kind of a crazy story how this whole thing happened. When the comic first kind of came out, and Dick Grayson left and moved on to be Nightwing, Jason Todd became the new Robin, and a lot of people who were reading the comics at the time didn't like him at all, and that's because like he had a kind of a more of a down like attitude about things. He'd talk back to Batman. He just had a bad attitude, basically, and like he was super violent, I think, with a lot of the people they encountered. And yeah, I mean, he and Batman just would butt heads, and the readers didn't like him. So the writers actually gave the viewers a choice, and they said, like, all right, they let them vote, and they said on whether or not Jason Todd would live or die. And I guess it was pretty close, but at the end of the day, Jason Todd, they wanted to kill him.
Motorsport, put that thing in sports. Shout it bad, pop it like a court. You a dork, never been a sport. Pull up.
Insane. I mean, it was really crazy, and the way that they did it was super well executed. They had the Joker basically he killed Jason Todd, and they had the Joker beat him to death, and that's where all like this emotion kind of comes from, because Jason Todd is a kid and the Joker's beating him to death. He's like Batman's kid, and this is after Batman fails to save Jason. That becomes Batman's like greatest failure of his entire life, and that's after that moment he really becomes the Dark Knight that we all kind of know, the Batman that we all kind of know. So Batman like hates like all of this memory of Jason is kind of, we pick up where it's kind of all gone. Or it's not completely gone, but Batman's essentially buried this emotion connected to Jason because it's his greatest failure. And then Jason comes back as the Red Hood, and it starts like destroying Batman's world. Emotionally, I mean, like it's all, everything starts going crazy. But Batman doesn't know that it's Jason until like closer to the end of the video, or closer to the end of the movie, and that's where the tension is kind of built. It's like it starts off with him and Nightwing just trying to figure out who the Red Hood is, and then once Batman finds out that it's Jason, everything just starts going insane. But it's cool how they developed it. I enjoyed how they made it. I don't know how to say this best. Sorry, I keep like stopping to think. like how they brought about the skills of the Red Hood, and they like kind of introduced those, and it just kind of added to the mystery of who is this guy, because he's so skilled. Obviously, he's been trained by Batman. Batman doesn't know who he is yet. The first thing that Batman and Nightwing see is how Jason, or the Red Hood, snipes these 3 guys that are about to rat on him from super far away. And Batman, I think it's either Batman. I don't know. I think it's Nightwing who says it. Like, someone's like, whoever shot that was like shot those people was an amazing sniper, an amazing sharpshooter. And then my second favorite scene in the movie is this chase scene between Nightwing and Batman are chasing the Red Hood, and more of this stuff is they're so shook because they cannot catch this guy. He does this one maneuver where he jumps off a building, and Batman wraps his ankle with this cable, and the Red Hood is able to turn around in midair and cut the cable before it goes tight and escape, which amazes Batman and Nightwing. Firstly because apparently no one's ever able to cut Batman's cables. Like, they're almost impossible to cut. So you'd have to know exactly like how Batman's cable is made and what it's made at to be able to create a knife to be able to cut it. So that's something that kind of scares Batman. But then also how skilled you have to be, and acrobatic you have to be able to turn around and cut that rope before it goes tight, is also, it also basically shakes Batman. And as the movie progresses, we actually learn, or Batman learns that the Red Hood yelled his name. He yelled Bruce towards the end of the chase scene. And that's when he gets really shook, and then he starts to realize, oh, this is Jason Todd. But the best scene in the movie comes at the end with the final confrontation between Batman and the Red Hood. It's because there's so much emotion behind the fight. The fight looks really cool, and there's all these cool maneuvers, obviously, that both of them are doing, and cool weapons and stuff like that. But the reason it's so good is because there's so much emotion and tension behind it. And it just builds and builds and builds. This movie's constantly building until this one point at the end. It's insane. But when the two of them are fighting, this tension's building, and it's really Bruce Wayne against Jason. That's what it really, really comes down to. And their kind of conflict of ideas. And Batman is fighting that he's it's almost him fighting his failure and his memory of his failure of Jason, because that's the biggest thing. So it's almost him trying to overcome that in the fight. It's very, very symbolic. And there's one point where Batman has a lot of shining moments too, and it's pretty easy in the movie to overlook them just because it's all about how amazing the Red Hood is and who is this guy and all this mystery. But Batman has a lot of really, really shining moments in it. He beats the crap out of Jason in a bathroom. It's insane. And then the Joker comes into the scene, and you get this huge outflow of emotion where Jason's basically saying, he's mad at Bruce because not because he let him die, but because he didn't punish the Joker and kill the Joker after he killed Jason. And Jason tries to force Batman to either shoot him or the Joker and kill him right on the spot. And that's when Batman has this really big shining moment where he comes out on top, obviously. The movie's getting the video's getting kind of long, guys, so I want to kind of close it out here. But if you haven't seen this movie yet, you probably shouldn't have watched this video because I spoiled a bunch of stuff, but definitely go watch it right now, guys. It's my favorite DC animated movie. And because of this movie, the Red Hood is my favorite character, almost tied with the Flash in the DC comics, in the DC universe. And that's because not because of his powers and abilities, which are really, really cool, but it's more about his character. And I think his character is so interesting. And they do it so well in this movie of showing Jason's character and all of this inner turmoil and emotional turmoil between him and Batman and Joker and Nightwing, even, because this is another Robin, so it's Robin versus Robin. It's it's really awesome. That's kind of all I can say, guys. So I'm just gonna kind of wrap up the video there. If you enjoyed the video, guys, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe if you guys are new. Comment below if you guys have seen this movie. I want you to rate it out of 10. Give me a rating out of 10, what you would give it. But for me, it's honestly a 10 out of 10. And yeah, I mean, that's it. So we'll have another one of these videos, a review of DC an animated movie coming up soon. So if you're interested in that, guys, and you're new, subscribe. But that's it. I'm kind of rambling on. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, peace out.
Motorsport, put that thing in sports. Shout it bad, pop it like a court. You a dork, never